My parents would tell me if I come back with like a scratch or an injury on my face, then that was done. Because I can't, I guess, like harm my face, or else I wouldn't be like good wife material. So
they might as well be standing in the middle of a mall.
A little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of trusting the people out there.
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
We all know the old adage, sex sells. Well, now female Olympians are sexing it up more than ever by wearing makeup during their competitions.
Number 6 is the Women's World Cup. Germany, Norway. Norway's Maren Majelda. Goal! Bending in the free kick. Oh, right over the wall.
You see,
Nice.
young ladies all turned their head. They didn't want to catch one in the grill.
They might not have wanted to miss
They
the
gave
hit.
up a goal.
Might not want to miss the hit. Far down, hands on.
When you see an athlete, why should you have to look at some chick's zits or some guy's zits on his face? Why not a little blush on her lips and cover those zits? I'd like to see a person that wins that gold medal go up there and look beautiful.
She's kind enough to give us a twirl. Can you give us a twirl and tell us about your outfit?
A twirl, like
A twirl, a pirouette. Here we go.
Women are not meant to be in sports. They are not meant to be strong. They are not meant to be bruised and battered. They are not meant to be athletes. Rather, they are meant to be dainty, put together, pleasant, and feminine. For lack of better words, they are meant to be with a man, and they are meant to be in the home.
Your coffee, sir.
Thanks, beautiful.
You're welcome.
How can such a pretty wife make such bad coffee?
This is the message that society has relayed to women since the conception of sports within the United States and the rest of the world. For the majority of the 20th century, women have been expected to adopt a subordinate role to men and to stick to the kitchen, confined by the monotonous reality of domesticity, viewing sports and higher education as a threat to a woman's fertility. In the late 1800s, the only acceptable sports for females were recreational tennis, golf, horseback riding, and skating. And among these limited activities, women were confined by the need to maintain their feminine physique and demeanor. It wasn't until the early 1900s that basketball and field hockey entered the realm of female athletics. But even still, the opportunities were slim and remained largely unfavorable in the eyes of society. Female athletics took small steps as the list of permissible sports grew. The passage of Title IX in 1972, mandating equal access to federally funded programs and activities, was a huge step for women's sports, changing the landscape of college athletics forever. Granted, society has come to accept the idea of female athletes, and in many realms has come to celebrate and embrace them, but women remain recognized on a second tier of accomplishments and respect behind that of men. The world of sports continues to diminish female athletes and their accomplishments through the sexualization of female athletics and society's imposed definitions of strength and femininity. We wanted to delve into this complicated relationship between athletics and being a woman in today's society, specifically taking a look at the athletics at Dartmouth College. We selected various D1 female athletes from a variety of sports ranging in experiences, team dynamics, and the degree of physical contact in hopes to get a better idea of what it is like to be a female athlete in today's day and age. The depiction of women in modern media has contributed to the idea that women are inherently weak and that strength directly contradicts femininity. Throughout the 21st century, women have been getting increasingly thin, particularly in the modeling industry. The ramifications of this development have been dire. By showing a painfully thin model as the pinnacle of feminine beauty, we demonize strength in women. Rather than celebrating female strength as we celebrate men's, female athletes are looked down upon for being strong.
It's like a lot of us, rowing requires so much muscle and like so much leg power. We're always like, oh, like your legs are so big or something like that. And like the men's team is like, oh, like the men are really muscular or whatever. And like it's kind of thought of differently, like, oh, like they're super muscular, like, oh, your legs are big. That's just like different.
Strong women such as Serena Williams are body shamed for looking like a man. A badass female athlete who has won 23 Grand Slam titles, more than any man in his career, threatens this idolized build, and is then attacked and body shamed for her strength. If you're too good as a female athlete, you'll be attacked by sexist headlines, or your gender will be stolen by sex verification tests trying to prove that you aren't a woman.
Rumors, I heard one that you born a man. What do you have to say about stuff like that?
I have no idea about that thing because I haven't heard that thing. Who said it? And I don't know. I don't give a about it.
This was seen this year with caster Semenya, who was told that she was unable to compete as a woman due to elevated testosterone levels. For as long as we can remember, we are told not to throw like a girl, not to run like a girl, not to fight like a girl.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
Although subtle, the idea that women will never measure up on the field is ingrained in our culture and minds from the time we can walk.
People will tell you that you play like a girl, or you tackle like a girl, you hit like a girl, you scrum like a girl, you ruck like a girl, or that the sport's less tough compared to men's rugby.
My brothers have definitely tried to call me out for throwing like a girl, and that's always angered me and infuriated me.
Yeah, when I was first starting to play volleyball, I would throw a football with my dad because it's a similar type of motion of hitting, so I'd do that to practice, and he would always tell me, like, don't throw like a girl, and he never meant anything bad by it, but in my head too, I was like, yeah, don't throw like a girl, so.
Not only is strength neglected in women's athletics, female athletes are expected to maintain the performance of gender in competition. Female athletes are often held to higher standards than male athletes when it comes to conduct during a game.
Girls are expected to be less vocal about their issues on the field.
Girls play just as tough as boys play, and you get called for something that a guy would not get called for.
Female athletes are expected to be docile, submissive, and non-confrontational. The expectations of women in the home and in marriage is reflected in their expectation to uphold such gender norms in competition as well. When women do stand up for themselves, as Serena Williams famously did in the finals of the 2018 US Open, they are mocked, labeled as emotional, and depicted as hysterical, and even penalized more stringently than men. In this 2018 match, Serena Williams was given her first warning for coaching, as the ref claimed that Serena's coach giving her a thumbs up counted as coaching. She responded with remarkable composure.
If he gives me a thumbs up, he's telling me to come on. We don't have any code, and I know you don't know that, and I understand why you may have thought that was coaching, but I'm telling you it's not. I don't cheat to win. I'd rather lose. I'm just letting you know.
Then a few minutes later, Serena slams her racket on the ground, which resulted in a point violation after receiving the warning for coaching.
Code violation, racket abuse, point penalty, Mrs. Williams.
After Serena aced, double fault, backhand error, and took it out of the frame. It's a point penalty. Extremely rare in a Grand Slam final.
Finally, halfway through the second set, Serena calls the umpire a thief. And he charges her with a game penalty.
Code violation, verbal abuse, game penalty, Mrs. Williams.
Wow, game penalty.
Taking a game from a player in the final of a Grand Slam is a huge decision, and doing so over something as small as calling a referee a thief is unheard of. Serena brings up the inequality to the officials.
This is not fair, but to give me a point to lose a game for what we're saying, that is not fair. I mean, it's really not. Yeah. Right. But you know how many other men do things that are, I don't think they do much worse than that. This is not fair.
And she's right. Male players have done much worse in less serious matches with no punishment.
Craziest matches you are likely to see.
It's all right.
From smashing rackets to audibly swearing to openly receiving coaching from the audience, men have historically gotten away with much worse in the court, while women are scrutinized for any behavior that falls outside of the norms of femininity.
Novak, he called it really. Both times he called it late.
Oh my God, he called out!
Some Kujovic.
I was on the ball twice. You take the point away from me. Focus!
The culture surrounding women's athletics and the criticism of female athletes has created a toxic environment, not just for female athletes, but for all women and girls exposed to this sexism.
Society kind of, I wouldn't say laughs at, but doesn't support it as much as boys. They definitely just, I would say overall support boys better. They think boys are faster, stronger. They think that they work harder, that they spend more time at the rinks, but that's not true.
Female athletes have to worry more about what they wear to the gym than their workouts, both out of concern for looking good, but also due to the institutional regulation surrounding women's clothing to avoid distracting the men in the room.
I would say one thing that kind of sticks out is the whole you can't wear leggings and foreign kind of thing. Because I know even in high school we couldn't wear leggings to practice because the guys would get distracted if we wore leggings.
And the gym isn't the only place where female athletes are overly sexualized. From tiny uniforms to objectifying news coverage, female athletes are taught that they are a woman and a sex object first and foremost, and secondarily a competitor. In talking to a Dartmouth volleyball player, she recalled one incident of the sexualization of women's volleyball that happens far too often.
Like in high school, people would make jokes that they only came for our uniforms and for spandex and whatever, and my team would kind of play that up as a joke and yeah, come for the spandex, but it's my uniform, so that's what I go to do work in. I don't think of it as anything else.
Beach volleyball is widely recognized as one of the most sexualized female sports, and how can it not be, with players wearing the uniforms of a sports bra and bikini bottom, while the men wear tank tops and loose athletic shorts. Not surprisingly, beach volleyball consistently ranks within the top 5 most popular sports for women, along with gymnastics and figure skating.
Most people think of volleyball in terms of women's volleyball or beach volleyball.
The sports where the women's teams come to mind before the men's team happen to be the ones where women are hypersexualized. Interesting. It's clear that this is a problem. The hypersexualization of famous female athletes creates a narrative in which young female athletes internalize the idea that they will always be a woman before they are a competitor. Yet, this problem has finally been recognized by our society, which is always the first step in finding a solution. Major brands such as Nike have done their best to fight against the common gender narrative with advertising campaigns such as their famous Dream Crazier commercial.
If we show emotion, we're called dramatic. If we want to play against men, we're nuts. And if we dream of equal opportunity, delusional. When we stand for something, we're unhinged.
It's Sue Bird's gonna need to calm down.
When we're too good, there's something wrong with us. And if we get angry, we're hysterical, irrational, or just being crazy. But a woman running a marathon was crazy.
Officials tried to pull her off the course.
A woman boxing was crazy. A woman dunking? Crazy. Coaching an NBA team? Crazy. A woman competing in a hijab, changing her sport, landing a double cork 1080, or winning 23 Grand Slams, having a baby, and then coming back for more? Crazy, 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 and crazy. So if they want to call you crazy, fine. Show them what crazy can do.
Female athletes like Serena Williams and Megan Rapinoe and Simone Biles have fought against these sexist practices by speaking out against unequal pay, the sexualization of female athletes, and the unequal coverage of women's athletics compared to men's. People try to compare Simone Biles to male athletes. She's not having it. I'm not the next Usain Bolt or Michael Phelps. I'm the first Simone Biles. When Serena Williams faces endless body shaming, she responds, "Oh God, I'll never be a size 4. Why would I want to do that and be that? This is me, and this is my weapon and machine." These powerful female athletes are making big ripples in the world of sports as they pioneer body positivity and take pride in their strength and femininity.
It is unreal and as well done as anybody, man or woman, has competed in.
These strides are not only seen at the highest level of competition, but here at Dartmouth as well. Female athletes have expressed that while things are far from perfect, large strides have been made, and they are optimistic for improvement in the future.
Serena Williams, I don't know, I look up to her so much just because, like, she's a beast. Like, she's big, so muscular, but she's, like, rocking her tennis outfits, like, showing that girls can weightlift and, like, you're not, like, butch or, like, masculine if you can deadlift or hang clean.
Yeah, it's kind of been cool, even in my short 21 years of life, to see how things have changed and how things will continue. To kind of change the like a girl or like female athletes being crazy if they're extra passionate about something. So I've really liked watching that narrative kind of change and become more positive, having a lot of strong women in athletics.
They've kind of been changing it so that it's very like women can be both strong and beautiful.
Rather than taking the stereotypical female athlete insults to heart, these athletes are overcoming these quite offensive comments. These women are proud to be athletes and will continue to fight to make the world a better and more accepting place for all the female athletes to come, showing them, along with the rest of the world, what it really means to play like a girl and to kick ass doing it.